I grew up in the classic Asian strict household. I am a second kid among three of us. I have older sister and a younger brother. Throughout my whole life, every single thing that I have achieved, the big milestones of getting to uni, getting the first job, shaping my dream career, only to quit and start over again, all had been through force, through hard work and self-harassment. I thought that this was normal because my environment actually conditioned my brain from early childhood that if I ever want anything in life, it has to come through suffering. But what I didn't realize, the result of this conditioning is how I started to talk to myself. I started to really resent myself. I have become my worst self-critic. If you put all my thoughts into a person and put that person in front of me, that person would be my biggest enemy, because every single morning I would wake up with 200 thoughts in my brain and whispers that I am behind, I'm not enough. And guess what? The trickiest thing about this whole thing, I kept doing the same thing for the next 20 years just to find myself at the exact same spot that I have started. About 9 months ago, everything had shifted. Not because of some magical thing overnight, but actually just because I went into this rabbit hole of learning how our reality is being shaped. The outcomes of my daily practices led me to quit my job 2 years before I thought I would. My partner and I have raised £200,000 in a span of 3 weeks just from a single Instagram story. I haven't worked harder to achieve those things. If anything, I have worked less. Now, instead of clocking 9 to 5 hours, how I used to do in my corporate job, I only work 3 to 4 hours a day, but I do deep focus work. The biggest win out of all of this is internally I have changed. Everything has changed. I no longer feel this kind of like deep-seated fear or anxiety. I feel a lot calmer. I feel a lot at ease, a lot more joyful, like every single day. I don't take it too seriously. I've learned throughout this whole journey you can achieve everything that you ever want through ease, not force. Because I'm a logical person, I needed the scientific explanation of why manifestation works and why creating your dream life is actually totally within your control. This video isn't preaching or selling you some secret hidden formula. It's just merely a video to bottle all the things that I've learned throughout the 9 months as a form of reflection, as a form of journaling, just to see how far I've come and what led me to this point in life. Hi, I'm Anne. I'm 31 years old. I quit my 9 to 5 6 months ago. I live in London with my husband and I are property developers. We design and build beautiful homes for working professionals. About 9 months ago, everything had shifted. I never knew that I would be taking sauna, cold plunge every single day like I am now. I am going to reformer Pilates 3 times a week, something that I had visualized and manifested. My logical brain never knew how I could actually achieve that reality, but here I am. My Instagram stories reach have increased dramatically from 900 people to 1,500 on average every single day, with 20 plus people DMing me. A lot of magical coincidences happen to us out of nowhere. Husband and I were literally finishing our first project, the one that we converted from 2-bed semi-detached house into 6-bath co-living. Suddenly, a man walked past our house and said, "Are you guys owners of this house? Do you want to buy 2 of my properties literally down the road?" And I'm also, by the way, landlord that is selling up my portfolio, and I have big blocks of buildings to sell in the exact same city that we were investing. We were like, wow, this is insane. This is absolutely nuts. The biggest win out of all of this is internally I have changed. I learned to lean into more gut instincts and my deep feelings as well. I started to change the way I operate and see life. I started to trust it a lot more, to slowly open up, because my heart was very closed before, but now I'm slowly opening it up and trusting that the universe is creating the ideal conditions for my growth and my happiness. And ultimately, I started to realize that my choices have changed. I started to say no a lot more than I say yes. I am a lot more intentional with how I use my attention and where my focus goes. And when we create this space and this ultimate trust and letting go, which is very hard, I've realized that opportunities started to appear, the right people started to come to us. I've realized that everything, like work becomes so natural, a lot more at ease. Work doesn't feel heavy now. things are in flow, when you feel like you are waking up not to fight another day, but you are going with the flow, not against the currents. And all of the external changes that happened to my life in the past 9 months are just merely a reflection of the internal change. And I'm constantly still working on myself. I have a lot more work to rewrite and to redefine, to let go of my old self. By the end of this video, I hope that you will understand why manifestation works and the scientific reasons behind all these tools. I'm sure you probably have heard 200 million times: journaling, affirmations, vision boarding, gratitude, why most people's manifestations attempts actually fail. And lastly, how to become creator of your own life without the burnout and the exhaustion. Honestly, I'm super beginner in this journey. I'm not a guru, I'm not a neuroscientist, I'm definitely not a quantum scientist. The more I read and listened to the generations that had come before us, the more I realized that everyone is pointing to the same path. They're all talking about the same exact core principles, but they're just using different words. So I've been reading and listening to Alan Watts, Wayne Dyer, Michael Sinner, Napoleon Hill. They all talk about the same things of how to create your dream life. I hope that I can simplify and give you very practical reasons why these things work. The craziest part that I've learned throughout this whole journey is your current reality isn't coincidence. Your current reality that you live in today is the exact result of your past manifestations. I'll repeat it again. Your current reality is the result of your past manifestations. Let's say if you are constantly finding yourself in poor health, bad relationships, partner always cheats on you, you don't have money, you're constantly burn out. All of those is actually the result of your past manifestations. And all of your struggles are not coincidence. That's your brain filtering system at work. There's a part of your brain called reticular activating system that filters your reality. Just imagine your eyes open up and you receive millions of data points every single second, and yet your conscious mind can only handle so much. Probably the tiniest fraction, I think 0.00 something percent of the reality. The reticular activating system, RAS, actually acts like a filter. It decides what you notice based on what your brain deems as important, or based on where your focus is at. Have you ever noticed that whenever, let's say, you want something, a pair of jeans or a pair of sneakers or a car, suddenly you'll go out into the world and all is that damn car that you always wanted? It's not because a lot of people suddenly drive the exact same car that you wanted. The cars have always been there. It's just now your brain, the reticular activating system, RAS, is now filters out your reality and picks up the point where your focus is at. And actually, if you were to ask what influences it, and the answer to this is your beliefs and emotions. And where do the beliefs and emotions come from? Especially the beliefs. We are small babies born into this world, complete blank space. And where do the beliefs come from? They come from your environment, parents, childhood, teachers, friends, colleagues. The moment you understand that the environment conditions your beliefs and actually forms particular dominant emotions in you, there is a whole feedback loop. There's a whole cycle that feeds itself. But once you understand how this loop works, everything will suddenly start to make sense. There's a dominant emotion that forms the beliefs. Beliefs forms the actions. Actions form results, and results reconfirm your dominant emotion to begin with. There's a very mindfuck reason how this works is, let's say, in my dominant emotion for most of my childhood and adulthood is I am feeling that I'm not enough. It results into the belief that I'm this person that constantly falls behind. The actions that results from that is I take more shit on my life. I take more projects in my 9 to 5. I take a lot more side quests outside of my 9 to 5. The result is I am constantly feeling that I'm behind and things fall apart. I get super anxious. And all of this only to reconfirm my initial dominant emotion that I'm feeling like I'm not enough. This loop is crazy because it doesn't matter whichever trauma, whichever pattern you'll start to pick up, you'll see that it repeats itself, even when it's definitely nothing to your benefit, because the brain has not developed to keep us happy. It's just pure survival mechanism. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. The most beautiful thing, the light at the end of this tunnel, is you can reprogram and rewire your brain. These neural pathways can be reconditioned, reprogrammed, and you can actually make your brain work for you, not against. That was the part just to give a bit of a theory, a bit of the foundation, because without the foundation, I don't think any of the practical steps or tools would make any sense, because you wouldn't understand why it works. Now that you understand why we are the creator of our own lives and control our reality from neuroscience and quantum physics, we'll get into the second part, which is all the practical steps. I'll share with you the 5 steps that I followed through for 9 months. And this is personally what I have found working for me. I'm sure there's a lot of other tools. I think the point here is not necessarily the tools themselves, also they're good guidance for us to implement whatever we've learned. I'm crazy practical, pragmatic person. I like to read and learn about stuff, but I also like to apply them straight away. Here are the 5 steps that I follow through consistently and help me create my dream life. Step number 1 is get real with yourself. This step was mentally the hardest step for me. Awareness is key. So how can you build a dream life if you don't know what your starting point is? And the awareness is hard because it required a lot of internal work to realize what are the scripts and programs that I have conditioned my brain with that I need to assess and need to objectively think and see it from like an observer point of view. This requires a lot of deep, radical honesty with yourself. And the way to do it is I'd recommend just very simply, maybe take a few moments, really zoom out and think of all your past events that happened to your life. What are those events that and patterns that keep repeating themselves? And looking yourself in the mirror, really be honest with yourself. We all have those kind of things. For me, for example, I mentioned that I'm constantly feeling not enough. I also was stuck in this loop that I am an independent person, I'll do everything myself. This is just pure basic program that I developed from a child. Kids normally get into the space of I'll do everything myself. And I never go up from that phase. I always denied any of the help that could be easily available for me. And that's also one of the reasons why I ended up hurting my lower back. So I have the disc bulge in my 30s, which is crazy. This type of real honesty, sitting down with yourself and really notice the dark patterns that you caught yourself with and really deeply introspect and reflect on why that's the case. Ultimately, like neuroscientists mentioned, 95% of your actions are actually driven by your subconscious. So the subconscious is where most work should come from. This is coming back to really writing all the scripts and programs that have conditioned your brain into the page. Because realization of what those scripts are is the first step in this whole journey of redefining yourself and dreaming up your dream life. Step number 2, change your identity, not just thoughts. This is the reason why most people feel frustrated with manifestations, regardless how many times, 200,000 times, for the next 10 years, you write that you are abundant, you are rich, you have healthy relationship, but deep inside you act from lack and fear. Then the universe and quantum field reads that as a mixed signal, and here's your dominant emotion of fear, of lack, of resentment. So instead of writing everything that I wanted in life, I started to write down who I am. And this is how it works practically. First thing in the morning, I don't check my phone. That's just like rule number 1. Every single morning, I have a meeting with myself. I sit down, I take my notebook and pen for the next 5 to 10 minutes, set out the coordinates of the person that I want to become. This actually rewires the brain and gives the coordinates for my reticular activating system to know where it should focus on. The way that I do this, I answer a simple question. What is the ideal version that I want to become? Who is this person? What does she do every single day? What does she feel? What does she look like? Literally write down in the craziest details, as detailed as possible. And it's so funny because it's like when you go into the Uber, they ask you a destination and you're like, whatever. What happens when you give no coordinates to the Uber? The Uber will just drive to whatever destination that they want. And similar to our activating system, if you don't give it the coordinates of the destination, it will all be driven by subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind, as we know, is driven by beliefs, by dominant emotions, by all our programs that have been put into our brain from a young age. So how do we change this? We put the coordinates into our brain, into the reticular activating system. So our brain is working for us, not against us. Write down into the present tense. This is how I write my journal, actually. I write that I'm calm, I'm balanced, I'm at ease, I'm undisturbed by the noise. I do everything with joy, in deep flow. I'm open to magical coincidences, pleasant surprises in my life. So anything that you ever want, just write down exactly to the T. Focus on both the what you do and importantly also how you feel. Number 3 is feel it. Feel it with your emotions. This is where a lot of people also miss when it comes to the manifestations. They could be saying things, but they don't really feel it deep inside. But once you start writing things down of the ideal version of you, and if you actually can marry the emotions that you feel through it. So how does this ideal version of you feel? Do they feel joy, feel gratitude, feel love? This is literally how it works. Once you match the frequency of your thoughts with the frequency and the energy of your emotions, you are sending a very clear signal to the universe. That's who you are and that's your reality. And it has no other alternative other than just to project that back to you as a mirror to feel as if you have it before it actually happens to you. Step number 4, normalize it. Show your brain that this is your reality. The funny thing about our brain is it's been developed from the prehistoric ages. It's been developed to keep us in survival mode so that we don't die. We don't die because of the lions and tigers, because that prehistoric world was full of dangers. The same prehistoric brain has carried through to the postmodern era, but it no longer actually works for you. So anytime that you ever start something new, the part of the amygdala actually starts to activate. Amygdala is responding to the risks and the changes in life. And every single time the amygdala reads the changes, it instantaneously associate that with danger. So it feels, oh my God, these changes are literally death to you. To really break up the pattern, and this is actually the biggest reason why when you start to change your routine, the new habits, you'll struggle so much. Like when you're wanting to exercise every single day, your body struggles. It's your brain. It's nothing to do with you. It's just how the brain has been wired, because change equals death. How you go about this is you have to normalize it. You have to show and visualize the pictures to your brain that this is normal, that you working out every single day is normal, that you waking up early in the morning, taking cold showers, going to sauna, going to massages every single day is normal. I always saw this vision board as fluffy exercises for the girly girls, but I'd say that I started doing these vision boards. I wouldn't necessarily contribute to a lot of my dream life changes thanks to the vision boards, because I only started doing that maybe in the last 2 to 3 months, and I rarely sit at my desk to see them every single time. But I understand the scientific reason why they work, because when I say normalize it and visualize it, it doesn't matter what tool and technique you use. You could visualize things, the printed out vision board that you see every single day. You could be visualizing during your meditations. I do meditation every single morning. I sometimes visualize my dream life as if it's already happened. Because the funny thing about the brain is it actually doesn't distinguish what is real or what is not real. So you could be inserting the data into your brain in terms of what are all those things that you see as if it's all real. Or you could be just sitting by yourself and just visualizing it with your eyes closed. Whatever it is, doesn't really matter. It's not about the technique, but you need to show those pictures, the visuals, and familiarize your brain with it. And just tell your brain that this is normal. Yes, this is my life. Yes, I have a fancy car. Yes, I have a healthy relationship. Yes, I have my own self-sustaining business. I have kick-ass team. Yes, I have a strong, recognizable personal brand. All of this needs to be normalized in your brain. Step number 5, the last step. Do this repeatedly for the next 90 days and watch what happens. The funny thing is the brain is not going to be rewired overnight just with one single positive thought. The rewiring of the brain is going to happen through repetitions and consistent repetitions that constantly send the aligned signal to the universe that your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions are all aligned and carry the same frequency or carry the same energy. It's really all about taking the small little steps and daily actions that will help you shape your new reality. You could know a lot of stuff intellectually, you could be reading a ton of books, but if you don't act on them, this is just like learning masturbation. So if you don't act on your manifestations, becomes just wishful thinking. For example, in my case, I journaled every single day for most of my days in the past 9 months, and that's when I started seeing things shift. And here's the part that nobody tells you. A lot of the times when I wrote my dream life, I had no freaking idea how I could get there. To give you an example, because I injured my lower back and had disc bulge last year, I was very focused on rebuilding my fitness, health, and stamina. I was writing that I'm fit, I'm healthy, I go to sauna and massages every single week. I was fantasizing literally for a year about going to reformer Pilates because I wanted to fix my posture. But as a person who just quit my 9 to 5, literally in May this year, my salary and my husband's salary just gone down from 4,000 each, gone down to 1,000 each. Now we're in the basic minimum salary from our property business. My logical brain couldn't compute how the heck I'm going to get to this dream life, because my logical and my linear brain had thought that, oh, reformer Pilates, every single session going to be £50. The sauna here in London costs like £90. PT training sessions, the gym could be another £100. No idea. So all of this calculated I just couldn't see myself doing this in the way that I had put in my dream life. All of this combined, my linear brain wouldn't have any idea how to do it. But the craziest part of all of this is once you start aligning your action and thoughts and your emotions into one, the universe will hand you this dream life in the most creative way possible that your linear logical brain would never have imagined. How I managed to have this routine of sauna, cold plunge every single day, going to reformer Pilates 3 times a week. If I wanted, that could be even 7 times a week, working with my PT on fixing my back and all my strengths. How it manifested, how it came to me was through very crazy conversation that we had with a potential investor, a couple from Hong Kong, who started raving about this health club that they joined. And this health club, they were raving about the sauna and they're raving about the tennis and paddle boards and all the kind of sports that I had dreamed up about. So had I not posted my story that we are opening our business for partners, had I not met up this couple from Hong Kong over coffee just to chat about our business and their goals, had I not written down on my journaling every single day that I want this, then my brain wouldn't have picked it up. Like my activating system RAS, remember? It wouldn't have filtered out that because my focus wasn't on that. But because my focus was on that, the next day my husband and I literally booked a tour in this health club, and now we members of this health club access all of this stuff that I've been dreaming and envisaging on my vision board. Actually, now I claim it is a business expense. Our business now is generating like a small income after we have completed our first project, and now we have the luxury of having the net positive to reinvest in our business and in ourselves in the form of this health club. So how crazy is this? That's super crazy to me. Then I learned about the quantum physics and part that blew my mind. The quantum scientists say that the universe doesn't respond to what you want, but the universe responds to who you are, to your vibration. What the hell is all of this? In quantum science, everything in this whole world, the trees, the chair, the stool, everything, all the particles, light, matter, all made out of energy and vibration. Your brain, your thoughts, emotions, and actions carry this chemical and electrical energy that moves through your nervous system. So just imagine this. You are an energetic system inside the universe made up of all these energetic systems. Who you are, the pattern of thought, behavior, emotions, all directly influence how you experience this world, how you behave, what you attract and repel. And this is where science and actual spirituality worlds start to collide, because they're all talking about the same thing. From the scientific explanation, all our organs carry different energy, vibrations. Your thoughts carry the energy. Your repeated thoughts literally rewire your brain and shape your identity. So different words have different vibrations. For example, the words of love, abundance, gratitude, joy carry different vibrations or words of fear, lack, anger, resentment. Your emotions carry energy. So directly your feelings change your body's electrical patterns, your posture, hormones, how you behave. All of this affects what you notice, how you react, and what opportunities you move toward, the kind of people that you attract. And also your actions carry energy. Your actions, it becomes a signal to your environment, and you react to that signal. Your brain reacts to that signal. And the craziest part is all the possible versions of me, of Anne, is accessible to me at this very moment. As a cook, as a baker, as an actress, and as a banker, and as a yogi, and as a Zen master are accessible to me at this very moment in time. Quantum physics calls quantum leaping, so I don't have to create any of these realities because they're already accessible to me. I just need to change the vibration and change the energy that I project out into the world to step into that reality. Quantum leaping, if you've heard, all it means is that you change your reality from your current point A and then change it into a different point, or you are living a different reality. So how do you change your reality? You just need to change the frequency that you vibrate with, or just change your energy. Think of it like a radio. If you're tuned into whatever channel it is, you are not able to actually access other channels. All you need to do is just change the tune and change the frequency that you vibrate with. And this is why a lot of people who only focus on manifestation or just positive affirmation miss the big point. You could be repeating the same thing 200,000 times for 10 years that I am abundant, I'm financially rich, I have healthy relationship, I have a healthy body. But actually, if deep inside you're operating from lack rather than abundance, you're actually feel that money is evil, you are afraid of relationships, and you feel that your body is dysfunctional and is full of diseases, then the quantum field reads this as a mixed signal because your thoughts are not aligned with the frequency that you want to vibrate with. Your thoughts are of abundance, and your frequency that you vibrate with is of fear and lack. This is a mixed signal to the universe. The universe is neutral, it's very fair, it's reacts. So if you want to change your reality, all you need to do is change the frequency that you vibrate with. And for me personally, that's when I started to see everything changing, when I aligned my thoughts, emotions, and action. Just to sum up, we've been here for quite some time. If you stick for this long, thank you so much. Just to summarize, your life is a lot more in your control than you think it is. You are master of your own reality, and you can bend your reality to suit your dreams. And all of the versions of you already exist, everything all at once. It's actually a very deep movie, but now I only realize it deeper. What's the real meaning of that? Like, how the heck do you have all these possible versions of you at this single moment in time? Energy is the universe. Energy is accessible beyond the time and space coordinates of reality, which is very mindfuck to me. And this reality is just a mere projection of our consciousness. So if you want to change your reality, all you have to do is to change your thoughts, change your emotions, and marry it with actions. Yes, I challenge you to join my next 90-day challenge. Step one, just have a true, honest reflection of your past programs and scripts that carry your life. Step number two is write down the ideal version of who you want to become and write down it with the present tense. Step number three, feel it. Really feel it through all your emotions, through all your hearts to maximize your signal to the universe. Step number four is visualize it, also normalize it. So visualize ideal version of yourself, your dream life. Also normalize to your brain that this is you, this is absolutely normal, this is cool, this is us. Step number five is act. Consistently act upon all your thoughts and your beliefs and your emotions. Acting consistently, do small steps. You don't have to do all 200 things tomorrow, but start very small. The consistency and repetition is key. I'll be rooting for you, for your ideal version of you, because actually it already exists. And you will be so surprised that your dream life is so much nearer than you thought it is. Thank you so much with gratitude for sticking all the way towards the end. I send you love, peace, and joy.